All right, Shalom. Shalom. We're the brothers from Great Millstone, Chicago branch, coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. And salutations to Akim across the world, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. And basically, I got another article pulled up here. All right, and this is going to go into prophecy because it's what Apostle Tahar deemed this year the year of prophecy. And all the things happening are according to the scriptures, according to the visions, these prophecies that have been written aforetime, man. So without further ado, this is from RT News. It's from January 9th, which is today. It says, harsher revenge. Revolutionary Guards commander vows it's not over after Iranian missile strikes on U.S. forces in Iraq. All right, so now we're seeing that the nations, according to the scriptures, are becoming angry, like it says. All right, they're coming against this horror. Eventually, the EU, all right, they're going to turn against this place because they already one of the countries over there, France, all right, as well as England, stated that they don't have any future interest in this battle against Iran. Okay. And then you had like memes of a woman and her daughter sitting in the back, or Trump sitting in the back, and then the woman in the front is supposed to be England, and then Trump in the back is supposed to be America, and Trump saying who was it was that scene from Step Brothers where he was sitting in the back and his mom was driving him home. Man, he said, I'll drop any fucking body. And then they had that the picture of the U.S. over him, and then Britain over the woman in the front, his mom, like with that still face, like, damn, what are you doing? You know, and that's a part of the scriptures as well. All right, but it says a senior Iranian military commander has promised further action against the United States. A day after Tehran launched missiles at two bases housing U.S. troops in Iraq, and there's all types of articles stating that 80 U.S. Americans lost their life, but then America saying that there was no casualties. Then they were saying there was some casualties. So there's definitely war going on over there, okay? But why is this? This is because the nations are angry, man, okay? This is Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. So the Lord is getting ready to render unto this place a recompense, ultimate judgment, destruction, chaos, and perdition, as it speaks of in the scriptures, man. And that word perdition goes into destruction. That's what's coming for this place, America, because this is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. There's no America in the scriptures, but the Lord left tokens, all right, describing a great nation in the last days that will be ruling. That's where we're living in, the United States.
The name America isn't in the scriptures.
Yep. This is Jeremiah 51. Wait, did I say it was in? I think I had a slip of speech. I meant to say it was in the.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why I cleared it up. Like, yeah, the name America isn't in the scriptures, but America is in the scriptures. Everything is in the scriptures. It's just not called by the names that most of the names that we refer to them as today. You know, the Edomites in Russia are called what? Gog and Magog. You know, but the people that's ruling that land are still Edomites, and that land is still seen as Japhetic territory.
Mm-hmm. This is back in Jeremiah 51 and 8. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen. Hold on, bear with me 1 second. Jeremiah 51 and 7. Excuse me. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. That's America. Why? For its delicacies. Why? For the American dream. It's patriotism. Okay? It's been that golden cup in the Lord's hand that has ruled over the whole world. Okay? But now the Lord doesn't need it anymore. Why? Because the Lord is choosing his people in these last days, according to the scriptures, to give them that covenant. All right? To give them that ruler, that king, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. So this place is going to be destroyed. Thus saith the scriptures. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, which are these philosophies, the ideologies, the rulership, the ways of life that they push into all these other countries. One of them is Iran. They just had deals with Iran, but now that's all thrown out the window because you went too far with them. You killed their top general. That's like somebody killing your father. That man was a spiritual father to all those men of that military. Just like we have Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, we have our forefathers. That man was like a spiritual father to all those men, man. You don't think all those men in that army and let's see what they're called, the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the Iranian army. You don't think they don't want that smoke back? That's according to prophecy. That's why it says here, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You have North Korea mad at this place. You have Russia with small problems in the background with this place, and they're ultimately going to be used to come against this place, and they're going to lead all these countries. You see? Now the nations are mad, so that's why in this article it says, what does it say? It says that harsher revenge, Revolutionary Guards commander vows it's not over after Iranian missile strikes on U.S. forces in Iraq. So it's not over. However many casualties America lost, whether they're lying or not lying, it's eventually going to be a lot of casualties, and you're going to have to report it because they said that it's not over yet. Okay? Jeremiah 51:7, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, so let's go into the word mad here. Because these people are vowing harsher revenge on you, man. Mad, it says, to praise, boast, be boastful ones. To be praised, be made praiseworthy, be commended, to glory, to make a fool of, make into a fool, to act madly, act like a madman. That's what does it say about the Carmenians? You see? That's according to the scriptures, man. If you got one, you go ahead. Unless, because I got one more too.
Just 1 second.
Oh, okay. This Habakkuk 2:5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. It's talking about the nation of Edom. It's talking about America, Babylon the Great. Neither keepeth at home, and wherever they are spread out over the world. The Russians, the Germans, all the people that descend and go back to Esau, they're about to get their judgment in this time. Habakkuk 2:5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. That's why you have Iraq, all right, going to their government and trying to get laws passed for America to lead their country. Because you never keep it at home. This place never keeps at home. It goes into other people's countries and destroys their government, puts up puppet governments, sets up and creates proxy armies. This is what this man does. He never keep it at home. He's always in somebody else's backyard, somebody else's country, doing what? Stealing resources. Habakkuk 2:5, yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. That's what you have here back at home, in home base of Babylon the Great. You have all the nations here. All right, and you've had all the praise of all the nations, but now they're getting angry at you. Why? Because you're doing them wrong. You're putting sanctions on them. You're stealing their resources. You're killing their men. You see, all this it says it here. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say destruction? Because it says woe here, but the word woe is destruction. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And that's that debt that this place has built up over the time of their rulership, man. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because what? It tells you in Ezekiel 38 that they're going to come into this place and make a spoil out of this place in these last days, wherever America is, wherever their bases are. All right, they're going to attack them, and they're going to attack here. You see, this is what this all is going to lead up to. It's right around the corner. First, we're going to see that chip come out, and then we're going to see all the war take place, because I believe a while back, Apostle Dahar said, once the chip is implement it, then everything's gonna go real fast. That's what he said, man. So that's what we're seeing right around the corner, man. If you got anything.
Yeah. I got two scriptures. This is Ezekiel 45:10. Well, starting in verse 9. Now this is referring to Israel, but anybody who has the power over the earth, this is what they're supposed to do. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, let it suffice you, O Prince of Israel, remove violence and spoil, and execute judgment and justice. Take away your exactions from my people. Not supposed to be no type of usury. Like the taxation that they put on people. Said the Lord God, you should have just balances and just ephah and a just bath. So the whole house, everything that that you set up, even the arrangement of your house is supposed to be in a just weight according to how the Lord would have things, man. Meaning equal, balance is fair. Everything that's with this nation is not fair, man. It's like they'll have a treaty with a nation and they end up breaking the treaty, but try to accuse the other nation of breaking it, man. Talking about that oh, you can't do that, you can't go over to the Kremlin, or you can't break what was the one, was it INF?
The INF treaty?
Yeah, the INF treaty. Like they accused different nations over in the Middle East of breaking that treaty, but really it was America that was doing it, man. Talking about that, oh, you can't have nuclear arms, and it was a certain word that was used when it came to getting the raw materials. They didn't want them to do that, but it turns out that America really just wants the materials over in that land. But you got to think about it. Everywhere that these people have went, once upon a time ago, these lands had resources, man. These lands had resources. They weren't like how they are today. But once the devil got over there, he dug them out, man. It's just like what they call in the scriptures, Europe is known as the bottomless pit because it doesn't have really very many resources, man. Like every other land has a lot of resources. America, once upon a time ago, was nothing but gold. This is a golden land, man. Before Esau got here, shit, the streets were pretty much paved in gold, man. Mm-hmm. You could have found some different materials, everything that you needed, man. Yep. Because you would have used it to its exact measure. Even the average everyday person, but Esau, Edom, he takes and he takes until he can't have enough. He'll destroy everything. But this is Daniel chapter 5, verse 27. Actually, hold on. Let me start. This is Daniel chapter 5.
Barakatah.
What? I'm sorry, verse 4. It says, they drank wine and praised the gods of gold, and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. Now, see, so basically they was already having a good time, man. But they didn't give homage to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who had put them in this estate. Although, pretty much, these nations may not believe in the Lord, but they know that it's Him. They just know it's just His Spirit isn't in them. Like if you go into the Book of Kings, it talk about how the heathens had feared the Lord, but it said that they still went back to their gods. And then you think that, wow, that's an oxymoron. It's not. It's just a simple fact the Lord isn't dealing with these people, man. That's the reason why these people can't be in authority. None of them. The Lord is dealing with us because He put His Spirit in us, and that's the simple fact of us ruling according to the promise that He made. But these other people, they don't have it. It says, and that's what we're gonna have to be on top of them. It says they drank wine and praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. Right? Esau is living lavish, in his kingdom, and he's giving homage to all these different deities. He's got people going off into witchcraft, man. You know more about Santa and about fucking Christmas presents than you actually know about the actual Lord. This is darkness that Esau has put out in the world. It says, in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. So you gotta think about it, man. These people, they was having a good time, and then out of nowhere, here came that sign, man. That fearful sign. And hey, what is that fearful sign aside from all the other signs the Lord has? It's just the signs of the prophets, man. The fact that somebody's bringing these things out and lining them up with the things that you guys are doing today, showing you how you're about to lose your kingdom and your rulership. It says, in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loose, and his knees smote one against another. I'm gonna skip on down, because these nations are in terrible fear, and if they had it their way, they wouldn't go through with prophecy, but they're gonna be forced to. This is verse 17. It says, Then Daniel answered and said before the king, Let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy rewards to another. Yeah, I would read the writing unto the king and make known to him the interpretation, because that's what we're commanded to do. And hey, it says that we are unprofitable servants, meaning this is just something that we have to do because it's the truth. The Lord is having us prophesy to everybody, to Israel, to Esau, to all the nations of what's about to happen. So you can't say that the idol had did it. It says, O thou king, the Most High God gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. So that's where all this really came from, man. And yet Esau pushes that there is no God, that we descended from Asia, that he's the strongest. All that these elites know is not true. That they that them having the power of the earth, they should have people put to death just for saying things like that. But yet they have the innocent put to death, and they let the demons live. And that's part of this world being in chaos. It says, For the majesty that he gave him, a people, nations, and languages, and trembled in fear before him. The same thing that the Lord gave to Esau, man. He gave him the fatness of the earth, and he was very unappreciative. You know, and the first thing, what did he do? He humbled Nebuchadnezzar. He didn't learn. His son didn't learn. It's the same with all the rest of these rulers, man. Except nowadays we have a presidency and not a monarchy. You know. It says, and trembled in fear before him. So people feared this man all because of who? Because of the Lord, whom he would slew, whom he slew, right? Because you know what? That's what the Lord did with America, man. Made America a greatly feared nation, man. And people wanted to get behind America, especially after what happened with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They made America look like a god, and everybody you wanted to get on America's side. They made it look fun. They made it look delicious and enticing, man. And if you stand against it, you good as dead. Which is the old saying: when in Rome, do as Romans do, man. You know, become a part of them. You know, otherwise you're gonna be put out. That was the fear that the Lord even had in Esau, because you know what, the Lord had to be Esau's time, but this is the last time. You know, the people are gonna fear you. That's why it's gonna say in Isaiah, is this the man? Is this the man that had everybody else in fear? This guy? That's what it's going to be like in our kingdom. It says, in whom he would, he kept alive, and whom he would, he set up, and whom he would, he put down. But when his heart was lifted up, and his mind hardened in pride, he was deposed from his kindly throne. He was deposed from his kindly throne, and they took his glory from him, right? Because the Lord had, he basically made this man go insane. He made him revert back to being as if he were an animal, man. That's what the Lord did to this man for being prideful, Nebuchadnezzar. But now, hey, shit, that's what this the nature of this place, man. Esau is literally on oids. Salaki, and I'm gonna do a lesson on that. Esau is addicted to these oids, and it's shit. It has him revert back to a beast-like nature. The Lord tricked him with his own witchcraft, man. That shit is hilarious as hell, man. This guy been forcing his pharmakia with nothing but a bunch of heroin and actual drugs in his shit. I can't even say drugs, because drugs actually that's a righteous word, which means what? Dried herbs, right? Mm-hmm. Shit, it's just witchcraft. That's really how you can call it, man. It's fucking witchcraft, man. Got these people on heroin. Then I'm pretty sure the way the poppy seed is grown, there is a righteous way to to use it for whatever is used for, but we don't know how to use it because Esau, the only mindset we know of it is the wickedness, man. We're not gonna really find out how to use certain things until the kingdom, man. Well, all I know is that some things are used for salves, and some things are made to be ingested, man. Some things are meant to be rubbed on the skin, things like that. Or some things just aren't meant to be touched by human hands. They could just be for something else, man. It's like saying, why is there poison in the earth? Like, you don't go touching every fucking plant because some plants could be poisonous. Some things just weren't meant to be touched. That's how the Lord has it. I'm going to skip on down. It says, in verse 24, it says, then was a part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene Tekel Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Meaning, you have put out a lot of bullshit. So to balance that scale, you have to receive the same amount of bullshit, if not double. And yes, double because you touch the people of the Lord. And the Lord just don't like you. And you had many chances to rule when you didn't deserve to rule. That's just how life is, man. To balance out the scale, whatever you take in life, something has to be put on the other side. It says, this is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, the Most High have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Perez, the kingdom is divided, given to the Medes and the Persians. Because who going to be the Medo-Persians in this day and age? It's going to be Russia and Iran. The Lord does. He says the Lord. What's it say in Ecclesiastes? It says Ecclesiastes 3:15. He requires that which is past. Yeah, it says Ecclesiastes 3:15 because the Lord pretty much reincarnates everything almost. But this is the last time that the Roman Empire is coming back because it's going to be completely destroyed. It says in verse 15, it says that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. So that's a part of how we know who Esau Edom is today, because everybody is just constantly coming back. These are the last 10 toes of Rome, man. And though these other nations are gonna have their part with destroying Babylon the Great, man, their daughter, the Chaldees' excellency, man. They're gonna have their part. That's the reason why you have all these other lands saying that like Iran being one of the forefronts, saying that they're not gonna stop because they know that America's not gonna stop. They know that America has pretty much is because that's how you know it has to be a war now. There is no turning back. As a matter of fact, we've been pulling out the scripture a lot lately. Get Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. It's Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right, we're in the time of these things coming to pass. So basically, you can say from thousands of years ago when these scriptures were written, it was as though it tarried. Even though the Lord still had things going on, just to be the filler to get up to this end. He put us in that spirit of reincarnation, so that the length of time from when the Lord walked the earth until now, it doesn't seem as long, man. But now we're at the very end of it, where the last few prophecies are beginning to come to pass, and we are in those times where the technology has been upgraded for us for this devil to completely own everything, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to revive spirits and put spirits into different bodies, man, and to and take he's basically trying to create his own mode of reincarnation by cloning and putting it into bodies that he can control. He wants complete control, man. He wants to know what's going on, what you're doing. He's trying to be like the Most High. But the thing is, what he doesn't know is while he's watching us, the Lord is watching him. It's just like I remember I was watching it with a brother. We watching. We was watching what you call right. Was watching. I think we was watching Animal Planet or some animal show. But basically, Esau had these different cameras everywhere, and it's funny. It's like you had basically the animal, the prey of the animal. He was walking. He didn't know nobody was behind him, and then you had the predator. His ass was watching him, and while the predator's watching him, Esau got different cameras everywhere in these fucking hidden spots. The animals can't never see, or it won't get knocked over or anything like that. Watching these animals, man. But that's basically how the Lord is watching you, Esau. You're watching everything across the globe, and everybody trying to police people in their own country on what they should do and what they can't do, and pretty much just bossing people around and trying to have control over everything. Little do you know, the Lord is in control of you and everything that you're doing, and He's going to bring you down for it, man. He led you to. He basically, this is what the Lord did, and it's the old saying that's in the world. He gave you enough slack so that you would hang yourself with. The Lord gave you enough slack, let you get away with a lot of shit, so that you would end up hanging yourself. And that's exactly what you did. You can't blame anybody for the situation that you're in but yourself. It's like, what the hell? We're just telling you exactly the shit that you did and how you're going to be rewarded according to that. And we're not going to have to reward you ourselves, but we will in our kingdom when we get our hands on you. But the Lord is going to make you pay for everything that you did on this side and on the other side. It's like you can't escape it.
Mm-hmm.
I would read verse 4. You got something you want to get?
This is Revelation. This is Revelation 18:2 and 1. And these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having the great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
So what is that? They were having a good time, man. They were in mirth. When you drink wine, you're in mirth. And it also goes along with this man's philosophy. But these people were basically just in bed with America. That's where you get the fornication from. Basically, these people were fall away from the actual way. They're even most of their customs and following Esau's philosophies, man, just so that they can get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Following this man's lies. And little did they know it was going to come back on them,
That's right. Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And that's the same thing that was reiterated in the Jeremiah. All right. Deliver every man his soul. Come out of this place. That's why you see the prophets on the highways and byways trying to get, all right, the elect and the remnant of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because that's what the scriptures spoke of us doing. So that shows you prophecies being fulfilled, even in that aspect, man.
And the thing is, man, most of our people won't come out of their mindset, because it's like I was watching the brother down there in the LA camp. I don't know if he's still the head, but I was watching that brother. And something he had said, he's like, yeah, brothers like to have a good time and stuff like that. But he also, like when he was going to his lesson, he's saying like, yeah, brothers like to have a good time, but for the most part, he's not like that. And I heard exactly what he was saying, but the thing is, yeah, brothers have a good time, but that's like a good time isn't all what we're about. Like, we're not gonna leave this thing just because we can't do the things that we really want to do, man. That's not something that your spirit should be about. But Jake that's in this world, their whole life is madness and folly, and those are great examples of what not to be like. But it says in the scriptures that childhood and youth are vanity, man, and that's the reason why people won't get this, man, because it's not how you want it at all. It's like you can't even have a iota of thinking that you have a control over anything that the Lord set up, man. And Jake don't like that.
Jake like, and that's the thing with Jake. They got that little prideful spirit on trying to be in control of certain things that the Lord just, hey man, He wants you to take some shit sometime, man. That's why it says, what does it say? It says, rebellious children, children that will not hear the laws of the Lord. So that's why, like he was going into, that's why 2/3 of our people can't really understand that it's not what you want to do in this time. It's what the Lord wants you to do. That's why the Lord calls them rebellious children, because they will not hear the laws of the Lord. That's why when that destruction come, you ain't gonna have nobody you ain't gonna have no covering or anything, man.
Who they gonna blame then?
They're gonna be just like Esau. What you got to blame? You just yourself. That's it. Revelations 18. Because this place is going down. This is a sign that these other nations rising up, getting vexed with this place, taking up that taunting proverb. What's going to happen? The destruction is going to come. All right? Then you have that chip. They're going to push that chip on everybody. All right? We're living in the times of the end of these visions being that were spoken and written of, man. This is Revelations 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." So that tells you that the Lord's going to send plagues on this place. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities." What was that? Psalms 137:7. "Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom." That's what the Lord's doing. All right. The Lord's coming through with all the prayers of King Solomon, King David, just like he said, man. The Lord said He's not a man that He should lie. So now we're seeing these other nations become vexed. We're seeing these other nations take up a taunting proverb. We're seeing these other nations shoot at America. "Has thou become as weak as we? Has thou become like unto us?" You see? Because it was in the article, it said one of the people in the military for Iran, they said that we shot them missiles and they couldn't do a damn thing about what we were doing. These nations are about to get at you, man. It don't matter how small they are, man. Because the Lord's putting that spirit on them to fulfill His will. Revelations 18:6. "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." That's the sentiment of these people, man. Oh, nothing's going to happen. We're just going to party and bullshit until the year 2075. No, nigga, you people are about to get conquered. This place is about to get conquered and spoiled, man. Okay? Revelations 18:8. "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire." What is that fire? Those thermonuclear destructive missiles all these countries are going to shoot over here, man. Okay, all that are around her bend the bow, shoot at her. What are they going to shoot? Those ballistic missiles, man. And they're not going to just have the regular punch that they used a couple days ago in Iran. They're going to put nuclear warheads on them. They're going to put them into bigger ballistic missiles. There's ballistic missiles the size of a 5-story, 6-story house, man. That high. That's how big those missiles are. And they're going to put all types of nuclear warheads in them. And that's what's going to be used to burn this place, like it says here in the prophecy. Revelations 18:8. "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day." All the things that are going to go on before the destruction. Chaos out here. Race wars. You see? "And mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." So this place is going to be closed for business perpetually, man. It's going to be a desolation over here. Revelations 18:11. "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble."
And what is that? That's just the diverse types of merchandise that America does with these different countries, because the majority of the products in America that are distributed throughout America are not American. You know, is that you don't have too many things that are made in America. Shit, most especially not the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, even most of GM Motors is pretty much what steals cars from overseas, right?
They buy parts from cars overseas. They buy parts from places overseas.
Well, there you go, and that goes also for diverse types of metals. It goes into the work.
Yep.
The leathers, the fillings. Shit, the most of the food comes from Asia, right? If I'm not mistaken, from Asia and then parts of South America.
Definitely South America. Definitely there.
Yeah, man. America is known for what is it? Imports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get more imports than they do export. They don't sell much of anything. They're more of a. That's why
It's a
so
consumer.
great.
It's a consumer nation.
Yeah, because I remember it was a Edomite here said something to me. He's like, "Why do they come to us for money?" I was like, "They don't. They do exchange with America for goods, and they got rich off of it. That's the reason why these countries have dealt with America. And that proves that America is Babylon the Great.
Yep.
No other country is people doing major spending with like that, man. The only thing now is that it's dwindling a lot more because we at the end of this thing, man.
That's it.
This place is about to go down. What are you gonna do with an asshole that you're no longer making money with, man? You gonna kill him? That's what these people about to do to this place, man.
Mm-hmm. Back in Revelation 18 and 13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments. You go to these retail stores. It's all colognes and perfumes from overseas, French, German. It's all this. Look, this is a consumer nation. That's why these people are so brain dead, because they just have a consumer mindset.
And it's the thing is, it's a lot of companies that are outsourced from these other nations. Man.
Yeah,
they need shit. These other nations pretty much do own this land.
Yep.
Shit.
China owns the debt. You see? Revelations 18 and 13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil. You go to Whole Foods, you see wine from Spain, France. You go to any store, you see liquors from different countries, foods from different countries, you know? And cinnamon and odors, because this place don't make shit here.
They don't make shit.
This place does not make anything here. That's why everything is imported. Revelations 18 and 13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense. That's why it's going to be a famine, because these other nations are going to stop sending stuff over here. They're going to be like, all right, you're going to keep it up. We ain't sending you no more resources, no more imports, nothing. You guys make your own shit in your own country.
Right, and shit, that's not going to be possible because a lot of the crops had a failure last year, man. You know, because those so-called natural disasters, you know, via the Lord, which what do they call it, the act of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hand of God.
The hand of God touched y'all shit. Because once again, the Lord's about to put a famine in this land. The first famine is going to start with what? Food, this knowledge. And then after that, it's going to be a strong famine of a shortage of actual food on shelves, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of chipping going on. A lot of chipping.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to be real crazy, man.
That's right. It's Revelations 18 and 13, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. That's what this place has held, man, for century. All right. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So this place is about to lose everything, man. You Edomites that live downtown have been living in deliciousness and delicacies, and we already see you're losing your kingdom, man. You're eating McDonald's, you know, you're eating fast food every day. You're always out. Like this last generation, the daughter of Edom, you're fucked, man, because you are those people coming back. You them Romans and Greeks, and the Lord got your ass. Revelations 18 and 18 and 15, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. So there's going to be a huge, great city in these last days that's going to be burning and it's going to be set on fire. Okay? We know through the prophecy what city that's talking about. It's talking about this place, man. Okay? It says, Revelations 18 and 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. You see? So ultimately, the things that we're seeing, these prophecies take place. Iran come against this place. It's all going to culminate into this place being destroyed and burned with fire, which are those ballistic missiles, man, and by the chariots. This place is finished, man. This is that great city. This is Babylon the Great. All right. This is the land of the Chaldeans, because they practice the same witchcraft on an extreme level compared to the ancient world. This place is about to go down. The Lord's about to judge this place. This is the place that the Lord has been wanting to judge for so long, and now that time has come, and that's what we're telling the world, man. All right? So, you got anything else?
No.
Con. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'm going to paste this link to this article in the description box. All right? Lord willing, that was edifying. We want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'rkah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for teaching and ruling well in the scriptures. Citations to you, Akim, across the world, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity and with charity. Shalom and a Abba Ball.